Ashley here, BitcoinBroker.ca. I've been trading Bitcoin since 2013, back when it was for $10, and I was one of the early investors in Bitcoin. I want to tell you guys about a really exciting opportunity that I've just discovered a few days ago. I ran across a video on Reddit about Taas, token as a service, that their ICO is starting. So I basically did some watched the video. Was Dimitri, the one of the founders of the Taz Fund, was talking about it. It piqued my interest. Usually, a lot of altcoins I'm not very interested in because they typically don't go anywhere and they don't have a plan. Their value is just based on speculation. And Taz is very different. Taz is actually a fund. So all the money, they're having what's called an ICO. I should start there. And that's an initial coin offering. So initial coin offering is when a company or a organization like Taz is going to release their system, their token, out into the open market. But before they do that, they do what's called an ICO. And that's essentially a funding round to bring in funding to support the coin. So as you can see on the screen right now, this is the main Taz screen. We've got the ICO is started. The investment is 1,861 Bitcoin so far, and it's just shy of $2 million invested. Now this is you have 30 days to do this, so this is day 26. So this has been running for 4 days already, and there's over 1,000 investors. I was one of the first investors in here. I think there was about 200 when I jumped in on the first day. And essentially, the reason why I made a significant contribution and a significant investment into Taz is because of the plan. Okay. So about the project, we're going to kind of zip by this a little bit. The key features of the business. Yeah. So essentially, what Taz is a trading fund. So the money goes into a pool, and 75% of it is allocated towards trading. And they have some pretty smart people on their team that are involved in algorithmic trading, and they're using a variety of techniques to make money. And one of their techniques is like I do, day trading. You buy low, you sell high, and you use algorithms to do that, or you just use people that are really good in trading to do so. There's also they're doing arbitrage trading, which is taking trading from different exchanges, pushing money into Chinese exchanges. Then they'll buy Bitcoin cheaper than they can in the U.S. They'll transfer the Bitcoin over to the U.S. exchange. They'll cash it out into U.S. dollars. And if you look at the levels, there's more U.S. dollars than there was in China, so that they can buy more Chinese dollars, transfer that back into Chinese exchange, buy more Bitcoin, boom, like that. They cycle it through and pump different exchanges. It's a pretty smart way of trading. A little complicated because the banks are involved in price fluctuations with that type of thing, but they really impressed me with their trading system. I think it's going to do very well. They did initial a kind of trading algorithm. They ran it last year, and they figured they make 300% of their trading value, which I think is totally doable. Last year I did 300% too, and last year was not a stellar year for trading. Towards the end of the year, we had a nice pump for Bitcoin, but other than that, it was pretty flat. I can still make money trading into altcoins, Bitcoins into altcoins, as well as just getting in the ground level of some of the new coins that are coming out and taking their ride up as they hit the open market, which essentially is what's happening with Taz is this ICO is a closed ICO, so the amount of money that's essentially collected by Taz is going to buy tokens. So how do you buy a token, and what is it worth? One token is worth $1. So it's pretty easy. 1,000 tokens buys 1,000 US dollars buys 1,000 tokens. There is a bonus system down here too for earlier people who get in the system. I got in when it was 1,000 BTC, but you can see right now it's about to roll over. I'm going to reload this page and see if it rolls over. We're right on the cusp. Another 5 grand, and then it will roll over, and then the next investors will get 20% bonus on the money that they put into it. So if you were here, like I was, and you put in say $1,000, you get 1,250 tokens out of that. Now, after these tokens are essentially the system is done. The days left is 26. The ICO is over. Day zero, whatever money has purchased tokens, those are the only tokens that'll ever be in existence of Taas. Now that's significant because there's going to be no more supply that's created into the future. All of that money is basically directly connected to the investment of Taas. So then these Taz is going to go onto the open market. It's actually on a market right now, not trading obviously because the ICO is not over. But as soon as the trading is done, I believe it is live coin exchange. There Taz is also talking to Kraken and Poloniex to get on board with those two exchanges. It's a little more complicated to trade Taz because one of the most appealing things is the dividend system. So these trading profits that they're going to be making every quarter, these trading profits, they are going to split up with everybody who owns Taz. Here it is. You have a profit sharing smart contract. The whole thing runs on Ethereum, the really smart Ethereum Alan Turing machine. The smart contract allows token owners to collect 50% of quarterly profits. So every quarter, their smart token system is going to automatically look at the profits that they have, take a chunk of that, convert it into Ethereum, and transfer it into everybody's wallets. So everybody who has a token gets a chunk of the profits. So to grow the capital pool without attracting additional investment, 25% of the profits will be reinvested back into the fund. This is pretty smart because now you're growing your fund, which means you can make even more money through leverage. So it also increases the value of the token over time, which is really nice too. So if you're sitting on the token's value in relation to the US dollars and trading fund is always going up every quarter, as long as you're making profit. So yeah, essentially, then when the Taz tokens hit the open market, they'll start trading probably around $1, and then people start buying in. Traders will want to get in, and that missed the ICO. 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, you're going to get people who are going to want to buy these Taz tokens. So the first dividend quarter release is going to be July 2017. So we should, at that point, it's going to probably be pretty big news, especially if the Taz fund does quite well. At an average, at its 300% per year is an amazing amount of profit to make. If you know what you're doing, it's very possible to do that. But if, like, say they don't even make that much, say they just made in that quarter they made 25% profit, then that 25% is split up between everybody, and 50% of that would be taken in, so it'd be 12.5% would be split to everybody who's holding their tokens. Now, if you look at that, even that 12.5%, 4 times a year, like that's 50% of an investment that's growing. What investment can you make in this kind of market where you're going to get a 50% return per year? Right? I can't. There's very few. Cryptos is definitely one of them. I know. One of my things that I do every day is do day trading, and make money that way. So I know it's possible, definitely, to make 300%, even more if you margin and you play your cards right, which it seems like these guys do. They have very smart system set up for it. So let's say, for example, they do get 300% profit in their first year. That means that your total investment will be recovered already in 2 of these dividend cycles. So July, August, September, October would be the next dividend cycle, and if that would basically should be, you should get a nice chunk of Ethereum that should cover, if you cash it out, it should cover your initial investment. which is fantastic. I've seen a lot of these coins come and go. I've seen some other funds. Let's look at another one called Economy that came out late 2016. They raised $8.5 million in their ICO, and to be honest with you, I'm not really excited about Economy. I didn't get on board with it because they didn't really have a plan that made a lot of sense. They didn't really do their math. Their trading system was not up to par. Which I thought anyway. I wasn't. I watch it with interest. Their current. I wish I would have invested in them because their current market cap is $56 million. So they grew 8.5, and their value is $56 million. So now, so you can on trading on the open market. So you can see that definitely you can get a return out of this, a healthy return out of this. And the smart way that Taas has done it, I think we're gonna see a pretty healthy return from this. So I just want to make this quick video, let you guys know what's going on with Taz and what this is all about, and I urge you to yeah, if you've never taken a risk into cryptos before, now is probably really good time to do it. Starting with this, if you missed the Bitcoin train and kind of kicking yourself, something like this is a really smart investment. A couple of key features here. Some key questions people have is like, okay, we give my money to these guys, they run off with it, I never see them again. Could this happen? Well, it's happened before. It's happened to me in some trades that I've done. Unfortunately, some exchanges like Cryptsy, I had Bitcoin sitting on there, and then the guy just took off right to Asia, cashed everything out. These guys definitely seem like the real deal. Like they're not going to be running off. Their team, I've done a bit of vetting in the background of their team. They're very smart players in the industry. They also have a lot of advisors and partners that are reputable, and in their they have guys who can control risk. They have what else? Yeah, the World Bank Group. They're basically trying to create a platform that'll allow other financial institutions to be able to invest safely and securely into cryptos and have that as part of, the worldwide connection to the mutual funds. Right now, there's a big gap missing there. You've got cryptos, and then you've got conventional market. Essentially, what these guys are doing is creating some software and systems that will tie those two together. They've got a system called Kepler that they're working on right now that should be releasing towards the end of 2017, which is a Bloomberg style investment system, including like media, information. It's a whole platform essentially that they're working on. Speaking of platforms, what they're on right now is they're using AmbiSafe, which is it's a separate entity. These AmbiSafe guys have created an Ethereum asset platform that is basically handling the whole token system. And AmbiSafe also works on connecting to the exchanges to push the tokens to the exchanges to allow them to be traded. Brilliant. AmbiSafe is a really bunch of great, really smart guys. They're partners with them. HLB is I've never seen this in the crypto space before, but they've actually HLB International's worldwide network of independent accounting firms and business advisors. So essentially, they're going to have the whole process audited. So as the money comes in, as it gets allocated to its resources, and as 75% was going to the trading fund, 25% is going to be going to their overhead and to assist them in development and their company costs to keep things moving forward. They have a reserve fund of 30% of the money that they raise is going into a reserve fund in Bitcoin, just sitting there as a nice big chunk. They're basically all of this is going to be audited by a third party, which is really bloody smart. Axon is involved in this too. I'm not exactly sure what these guys do. Oh yeah, legal services. So yeah, these guys went over and above when it comes to legal services, and they looked at all the different countries that they're going to operate in, and looked at the money service businesses in them. And the only one that they're unfortunately not able to operate in right now is the US of A. The USA unfortunately considers cryptos as a currency, therefore a money service business license is required. And as my previous businesses in Bitcoin and CoinTap, we were looking to pick up a money service business in the U.S. and it was they wanted $10,000 a month plus That was just to start for the federal license. And then you could get state licenses you would need to operate in every state, and they all had their own rules and their own expenses and costs. So it's basically right now it's kind of prohibitively expensive to operate in the US. Although, that's coming at some point. So yeah, these guys have lawyers, pretty smart system. Who's these guys? Autonomous. Easy Company, Incorporation, and Governance. Yeah, here we go. An online control panel for everything you need to set up and govern your companies throughout the world. So they set up a company in Singapore. That's where the main headquarters of this company is. They have offices in San Francisco, I believe it is, and it might be San Diego. Not too sure. Maybe it's San Diego. They have offices in Russia. Um, yeah, they've a kind of this company's kind of spread out all over the place. Watchman's PR. Leaders in fintech public relations. Yeah, so they're working on like the fintech guys are essentially allow them to tie their product properly into the financial markets and the financial systems. So it includes KYC, know your customer, AML. Make sure that you have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed when it comes to accounting. Yeah, basically government. They can report to the government and to different financial companies, which is really smart that they're looking at all of this. A lot of these other funds, they're trying to get around all of that by doing things in the gray space, where Taas is all about trying to make it as legitimate as possible. Qubits, Europe's gateway for Bitcoin. So I'm not exactly sure how Qubits is directly connected with these guys, but it looks like there could be enablers for moving the Taas tokens to exchanges. And yeah, they've got some pretty smart people working for them. John Wong here. If you check out some of the people you can see on their website, you can see the kind of experience that they have in being involved in this project. They, Vice President of Wells Fargo, President Portfolio Manager, VP President Development, Business Development for Propy Incorporated. Yeah, they have some top cats in this game, and some really smart people that are involved in it. So the chances of them just grabbing your money and running off and you never seeing anything is pretty low. Like the people that do that kind of thing try to run in the gray space, in the gray area, so they can operate outside of the law, so to speak. These guys aren't. They're going basically directly for the smartest and the proper way to do things, because they want to build a financial product that is marketable to the finance industry. Now, anybody that does that and actually can successfully allow mutual funds to incorporate cryptocurrencies in them really is going to open up a whole new market and make a crazy amount of money. And that's what these guys are trying to do. So the bottom line is, guys, I think this is a really smart buy. It's really clear to me what their plan is and where they're going with it. Um, they seem to be a legitimate group. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that this is something that, as Ashley folks, a Bitcoin broker, I've been doing Bitcoin stuff for since 2013, so it's about 4 years now. I think this is a great buy. I've put a significant investment of my own trading funds into this because I have a lot of confidence in what I see. It looks really smart. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me at afolks@bitcoinbroker.ca. And yeah, happy trading.